right. So here's our experiment. Can you feel me now? We are going to select someone in our life that we have a relationship with, someone that we care about, someone that we may have some concerns over because of whatever reason. Maybe they've got a test coming up, or they're going through something challenging. Whatever reason, this is some place where we could be worried. We could have some anxiety for them. We're going to try this instead. Okay? All right. So here we go. I want you to just sit back, take some deep breaths, and begin to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, as you take these deep breaths, begin to let your mind, as if you could pull the strings of your attention, pulling your mind back into your body, back into here and now, pulling them out of the past, the future, the what ifs, all of that. Feeling all of your attention coming back into your body. Allowing all of that to integrate with your breath. Nice deep breath all the way down into your belly. Yes. Okay. Now that you are here in your body, I want you to imagine that you can become aware of the sense of being stared at. Let your body recall this sensation, whatever it feels like in your body. Notice the direction the stare is coming from. Notice the sensation in your body, the urge to turn and look. And now I want you to sense the intention behind the stare, the intention with which you are being stared at. Imagine that this stare is one of concern, one of worry, one of, are you okay? Feel what happens in your body when you feel the stare that feels that it's containing worry. The intention is, are you okay? I'm worried about you. Feel yourself being looked at with that intention. Feel what that feels like. Now, change that intention subtly but powerfully. As that intention becomes, I care about you. I love you. I see the best for you. I see you well and whole. I see who you are. I am looking at you with love, seeing all the best, all the highest. I am seeing your light. Feel yourself seen with this intention. And feel what happens in your body, how your body responds. So you can experiment with this on your own and try all different kinds of feelings of being stared at. But we're going to go with this feeling. And now's the time you're going to think about that person in your life that you have some concern about, that you could worry for. And I want you to imagine that you're staring at them. Staring at them from behind is easier, but you could also imagine you're looking at them from the side. Face to face is more challenging. So let's go with baby steps here. And imagine you're looking at them from behind. And as you are looking at them, you are staring at them. Everything else fades into background as you stare directly at them. And as you stare at them, you see them as pure love. Everything else, all of the areas of concern fade away. I love you. You are lovable. Who you are is lovable. Who you are is love. Who you are is magnificent. Who you are is perfection. I see the divine in you. Gaze at them with this gaze, seeing their divine nature, sensing it, trusting it, loving it. Anything that comes up that is a yeah, but, or anything else, just let it float away as you focus your attention on them, staring at them, and holding this vision of them, the perfection of them. That is all. All the rest just fades away. Narrowing it down to simply, I love you. Simply love. No further message is necessary. Feel what it feels like in your body to stare at this person with this intention, bringing this back to you. And now, just because it feels so good, fill yourself with this intention. See inside of yourself with love. If you can, see the divine within yourself, recognize that it is there. Letting all of the yeah buts, all of the other things fade away into the background. Not important here, just love. And when you're ready, you can take a deep breath and come back to here and now. Okay, so let's talk for one more minute about evidence, what to be looking for, and application. So, evidence. Always evidence of any of these kind of energy experiments is a shift in your feeling. Do you feel different? Does something feel like it's maybe turned a little bit inside of your mind or your being in some way? That's evidence. Something happened. Okay. Evidence, of course, would be if, you hear from that person, you bump into that person, you see that person. Evidence may also be that in some way, this feeling of love and seeing through the eyes of love and seeing the divine nature is reflected back to you in some way. In some way, you see that in your day, in your travels, that someone reflects that back to you. You see it reflected in something you see on the computer, on TV, in the world, some reflection of that to you, or anything else that feels significant or coincidental in a meaningful way. Take that as evidence that in some way you've connected with the field, that you've sent a ripple through the field. Ways that you can experiment further with this being stared at. Okay, sending love, sending love, sending love, sending love. It feels good, it feels great, and who knows, maybe it is certainly better, healthier, more supportive than sending worry, but maybe it can be like little, kind of love darts, sending out into the world. Try sending them to people you know, people you don't know. Try sending them to people at a restaurant, at the grocery store. See what happens, okay? Um, uh, Connecting with someone in a way and this is fun, maybe it works, who knows, connecting with someone like a teenager who you want them to feel, I'm looking at you, just a little extra set of eyes on you as you're traveling through the day, making decisions. Can you do this for a location? Can you impart this sense with a location into a business or your home as a protection? How about that? That's something fun to experiment with. Connecting with someone else, like our smoke signal experiment. Can this be another way to say, hey, I'm thinking of you? Is this a tool you can use to telepathically communicate that? That's powerful. And connecting with a loved one in spirit. So Susan left a comment in the group and told this beautiful story of this sense of being stared at by her husband who had passed away, and feeling the full sense of being stared at, the love, all the things. And I realized as I thought about that that's part of what I do in a reading sometimes. Sometimes I'll have the sense of being stared at, and I'll put my attention there. And it's because someone's parent or loved one has stepped forward and is wanting to be a part of the session. So can we use it to feel a connection from other people? Can we use it to generate a connection from other people? Can we imagine them staring at us and use that as a way to establish a connection, feel a connection, ask for communication, ask for something, a sign, a message, something. So let your imagination run wild and experiment with this. Use this sense that is proven that we have, that is universal, and play around with it. Can your sense of staring at someone else impact them? Can it impact a space? Can it be the spark of a conversation? Can it be a way to invite more love and connection into your life? The world is your oyster. Experiment away. Oh, and share your results.